But someone like Mises is trained to be a civil servant inside of the Habsburg Empire. I mean, you went to university in Vienna to administer the empire. And at some level, he believed in and bought into the solution, as he saw it, that had been arrived at in Habsburg for doing something that's actually very hard, which is how do you govern a space that is filled with people of different languages, different nationalities in their understanding, even different races in the kind of Central European way of thinking of it at the time. He himself is Jewish, meaning he was put in what Ernst Gellner calls the Habsburg dilemma, which is he can't play the game of nationalism because he loses, right? As a Jew, there's no sort of way of arguing for, a kind of a place, a territory, special privileges within the Habsburg territory. So he's forced to defend, sort of constitutionally, he's forced to defend the idea of some kind of a structure that can preserve multi-confessionality and multinationality. But the problem is he's also, so he's a political liberal in that sense, and he's also an economic liberal. So he needs to figure out a way that you can have a space of people with diverse ways of understanding who they are and their identities, who nonetheless will be able to trade with each other and act in concert and in harmony economically. And he believed in his sort of retroactive construction of what the Habsburg Empire was, is that they had kind of solved one of the problems of world order. And they had solved it through what he called a kind of a regime of double government. And Hayek says the same thing, that we actually need a political government and an economic government. And the political government can do things like give people language schools, they can have their flags, they could even have their coins. The economic government, however, will preserve things like free movement of labor, free movement of goods, free movement of investment. And if you can convince people sufficiently that they are self-determining, while also strongly restraining the autonomy that they have to be self-determining by having free movement of capital and labor and goods, then you will have potentially solved the problem of the world after empire. Right? So the whole project of trying to dream of a global economic architecture is really trying to scale up what he saw as the kind of the successful double government of the Habsburg Empire.